Welcome to day 95 of our 365-day challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. We're going to begin talking about our spiritual SOAP framework. We're going to start with the S today, and then we'll go through the O, the A, the P for the rest of the week. But the S for our SOAP frameworks in how we solve a challenge or a problem or deal with a situation that we want to make better, or if we want to solve a problem. Say we have a problem with our spirituality and we want to make it better. This is the first step of the process. And we want to take over the course of this year, and it doesn't take a year, you can just do it once or twice. We want to install this SOAP framework into our subconscious so whenever we face a change or a challenge, it automatically gets dealt with by our subconscious and gives us the best possible results for us. We do what's right for us every single time when we apply this SOAP framework. So the S stands for story or situation. If you've been with us for a while, we've gone through this 3 times already. We did a physical run through the SOAP framework. We did an emotional in February. We did a run through the SOAP framework. March, we did a mental or intellectual or thinking or thought or beliefs run through the SOAP framework. And this month, we're going to do a spiritual run through the SOAP framework. So for our spiritual storytelling strategy, for our assignment today, the purpose of the story in the SOAP framework is to identify our current situation. What is our spiritual current situation? And yesterday we talked about picking something that we want to work on. And then the other aspect of the story or the situation step of the process is, what do we want it to be, right? It doesn't do us any good to just sit and mope and worry about, and I like to say bitch, moan, and complain, because that's what I do sometimes, about a current situation if we don't know what we want, if we don't know where we want the situation to be. So one of the tools, one of the strategies I learned a long, long time ago from gurus like Tony Robbins was future pacing. I don't think it was called future pacing, but he would walk us through an exercise on, we'd do a couple things. We would remember, and maybe we'll cover this in a later day, but we would morph and change a past event and take the emotional charge out of it, take something negative and actually turn it into a funny situation or a positive. That's one strategy to deal with the story, the current story you're telling yourself versus the desired story. And that works really, really well on past dramatic events or past traumas. I did it when I got fired. I didn't deserve to get fired, but I got fired in one situation, and it was horrible. And that was impacting me in a negative way for quite a while. And it was a time when I couldn't afford to have it impact me negatively. And so I used the swoosh technique, I think they call it, Tony Robbins and the gang and NLP, where you take that event and you change it and morph it and remember it and take all the emotional negativity and charge and trauma out of that event and then remember it differently or how you wish it would have happened or not happened at all. So that's one technique that's really, really powerful, and you can use that in storytelling as well. We'll cover that another time when we go through the SOAP framework. But today, future pacing is a technique where we think about a situation right now. And I think a really powerful one Tony Robbins did was, if you're a smoker now, and this is a health one, not a spiritual, and you want to stop smoking, but you're having a really hard time quitting, what you do is you think about yourself and you imagine yourself, if you keep smoking 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years in the future, imagine what your life would be like. And you'll give yourself all the health challenges, all the bad things that could happen. That's a negative way to self-pace. And then if you were to quit smoking today, you imagine yourself in the future 5, 10, 15, 20 years and what your life will be like or would be like if you quit smoking now. And we can do the same thing with our spirituality. What stories, what thing about our spirituality would we like to be different than it is right now? We want to pick something that we want to change, right? That we want to be different, because we want to test out and practice this SOAP framework on ourselves while we're doing the challenge. So when things come up in our life, we know and we trust it'll work for us, that we've practiced, that we've got all different tools in our toolbox when we want to go more in depth in any one of the areas of the framework. So let's future pace a spiritual related thing. Now, I'm trying to think, what did I pick yesterday? I need my magnifying glass. I picked yesterday that I was going to work on my connection to my higher self, or to source or God or whatever it is for you, because I want to make sure that I have a more solid connection with that. Right now, it's kind of willy-nilly. Sometimes I connect, sometimes I, pray, sometimes I talk to God, sometimes I don't. And I want it to be a regular thing, a regular practice. So I feel like I've got a stronger, consistent, constant connection. Now, the truth is we're always connected, right? We're all connected to one another. We're all connected. I don't know if that's the truth. That's my truth. But we don't always feel that way. And I want to feel and experience that continuously. So how do I future pace that? Well, I think about my willy-nilly way of dealing with spirituality and dealing with my connection to God or source right now. And what will happen if I keep doing that 5, 10, 15 years into the future? And I'm going to do this exercise today. It takes more than me talking through it. But 5 years from now, I'll probably be in the same exact situation that I am. 10 years from now, areas and aspects of my life, I might feel more disconnected and more alone and more lonely. And that's not what I want. Or I might start to see other challenges in different areas and aspects of my life because of my lack of connection and spirituality and belief and faith, etc. 15 years, I could carry that even further, and 20 years again. Now, what do I really want my life to be like spiritually? What do I want my connection to be like? And what do I want it to be like in 5 years if I change what I'm doing? If I change something I'm doing now, what will that be like in 5 years? What will that be like in 10 years? And I'm looking at the positive side of it now and the possibilities and the infinite possibilities of how it could positively impact my life, right? 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years out. So that's our action, and that's our assignment today, is think about the thing that you want. What's your current situation? What's the thing that you want? Now, chances are whatever you're imagining today isn't even going to take you 5 years to achieve, right? Even if it's a huge goal, chances are you'll have it in 5 years or less, and then you'll set another goal with respect to the spiritual areas and aspects of your life. But right now, for the purpose of this exercise, go through the if I don't change 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and then if I do change 5, 10, 15, 20 years aspect. It doesn't have to take a long time. You can just imagine it while you're doing something else in your day. But I like to have devoted time where I'll sit down for 15 minutes today probably. It might not take you 15 minutes, but I guarantee I get distracted and it'll take me 15 minutes. So I'm going to sit down for 15 minutes today. I'm going to go through this exercise. I'm going to identify my current situation, and then I'm going to identify my desired situation, my desired story. Because really everything in our life is just based on the beliefs, the thoughts, the feelings, and the stories we tell ourselves about everything. Any questions about this, hit me up. Otherwise, do this. Have fun with this exercise. This is a super powerful exercise. It can be used for anything we want to change in our lives, to get leverage on ourselves, to get motivation, internal, intrinsic motivation to change and make the changes, usually especially the ones that we haven't given much thought to, or that we have been procrastinating on and putting off. Area in my life where this comes to play is organizing things, having organization, not in my business and work areas of my life, but the other areas and aspects of my life. And so if I catch myself procrastinating, I think about the negative would be, oh, I'm living in a hoarder house because I don't organize. And then the positive would be, perfectly pristine, organized environment, exactly like I like it. Everything has a place, etc. All right, questions asked. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. Have an awesome day. Have fun identifying your story. And the whole purpose to identify the gap from between where we are now and what we want, and the rest of the framework for the rest of this week will fill in that gap and show you exactly how, and demonstrate to yourself exactly how you can make these things that you want appear in your life kind of faster than you ever even imagined possible. All right, have a great day. Bye.